Embracing the Storm, How Adversity Shapes Extraordinary Leaders. Welcome to the BlackCEO podcast, where we explore the transformative power of leadership and resilience. Today, we're diving deep into a conversation that will challenge your perspective, ignite your passion, and perhaps even change the trajectory of your life. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of sitting down with Kimberle Smith Austin, a visionary leader whose insights have the power to reshape our understanding of success, resilience, and the true meaning of impact. Kimberle isn't just another corporate success story. She's a force of nature, a catalyst for change who has dedicated her life to breaking barriers and creating opportunities for others. Her work has touched countless lives, from boardrooms to community centers, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of leadership and social change. But what makes Kimberle truly remarkable isn't just her list of accomplishments. It's her unwavering commitment to authenticity, her courage in the face of adversity, and her ability to turn challenges into catalysts for growth. As we settle into our conversation, I can feel the energy radiating from Kimberle. There's an intensity in her eyes, a passion in her voice that immediately captivates. She leans forward, a mischievous glint in her eye, and says, most people spend their lives trying to avoid storms, but I've learned that it's in the eye of the hurricane where you find your true strength. This statement sets the tone for our entire discussion. It's a perspective that challenges conventional wisdom, one that invites us to reconsider our relationship with adversity. And as Kimberle begins to share her journey, it becomes clear that this isn't just a catchy metaphor. It's a philosophy that has shaped her entire career and life. Kimberle takes us back to a pivotal moment early in her career. Picture this: a young, ambitious professional eager to make her mark in a field dominated by those who didn't look like her or share her background. Many would have been intimidated, maybe even deterred. But not Kimberle. She recounts a particularly challenging project she was assigned. The odds were stacked against her. Limited resources, tight deadlines, and a team that initially doubted her abilities. I could feel the skepticism in the room, Kimberle recalls, a wry smile playing on her lips. It was like being thrown into the deep end of the pool, except the pool was filled with sharks and someone had tied weights to my ankles. But instead of drowning in self-doubt or resentment, Kimberle chose to dive deeper. She saw this challenge not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity to showcase her unique perspective and abilities. I realized something profound in that moment, she says, her voice filled with conviction. Our greatest growth often comes from our most difficult challenges. It's like life is this grand gym, and adversity is the personal trainer we never asked for but desperately need. This realization didn't just change Kimberle's approach to her work, it transformed her entire outlook on life. She began to actively seek out situations that pushed her out of her comfort zone, understanding that each new challenge was an opportunity for growth and learning. But here's the thing. Kimberle leans in, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. I'm not talking about reckless risk-taking or blind ambition. That's a recipe for disaster, not growth. What I'm talking about is calculated courage and strategic resilience. Kimberle goes on to share the framework she developed for tackling challenges, an approach that anyone can apply, regardless of their field or level of experience. It's a blueprint for turning adversity into advantage, and it starts with a fundamental shift in perspective. First, Kimberle emphasizes the importance of preparation. Confidence comes from competence, and competence comes from putting in the work, she asserts. Before stepping into any new challenge, she immerses herself in learning, researching, and honing her skills. This preparation isn't just about acquiring knowledge. It's about building the mental fortitude to face whatever comes her way. Think of it like this, Kimberle explains, her eyes twinkling with humor. If life is going to throw lemons at you, and trust me, wouldn't you rather show up with a juicer, some sugar, and maybe a splash of vodka? That way, when the lemons start flying, you're not just ducking and covering. You're mixing cocktails and hosting a party. The room erupts in laughter, but the message is clear. Preparation isn't about eliminating uncertainty. It's about equipping yourself to handle it with grace and creativity. Next, Kimberle stresses the value of perspective. She's learned to reframe obstacles as opportunities, setbacks as setups for comebacks. This shift in mindset isn't always easy, but it's crucial. It's about asking yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why is this happening to me? She explains, it's the difference between being the victim in your own story and being the hero. Kimberle shares a story about a major product launch that went spectacularly wrong. The technology failed, the marketing missed the mark, and the press was brutal. It was a disaster of epic proportions, she recalls, shaking her head. For a moment, I felt like I was starring in my own personal Greek tragedy. But instead of succumbing to despair, Kimberle chose to view the situation differently. I asked myself, what if this isn't a failure but a feedback loop? What if this disaster is actually the universe's way of pointing us towards a better solution? This reframing led Kimberle and her team to completely reimagine their approach. They listened to the criticism, dove deep into user feedback, and emerged with a product that was far superior to their original concept. That failure ended up being the catalyst for our biggest success to date, Kimberle says with a grin. It's like the universe was playing a cosmic game of hot and cold with us, and we finally figured out how to listen. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of Kimberle's approach is her emphasis on authenticity. In a world that often pressures us to conform, she's found that her greatest strength lies in embracing her unique voice and experiences. She shared a story about a time when she was advised to downplay certain aspects of her background to fit in with a corporate culture. I had this mentor, well-meaning but completely off the mark, who told me I needed to tone down my personality, to hide my background growing up in a tough neighborhood, to essentially become a watered-down version of myself to succeed in the corporate world. Kimberle recalls, her voice a mix of amusement and indignation. For a moment, she considered taking this advice. The pressure to conform was intense, and the fear of not fitting in was real. But something didn't sit right. I realized that by hiding parts of myself, I wasn't just betraying who I was robbing my colleagues and my company of the unique perspective I brought to the table. Instead of following this misguided advice, Kimberle chose to lean into her authenticity, using her diverse experiences as a source of insight and innovation. She started sharing stories from her background, using the problem-solving skills she'd learned on the streets to tackle corporate challenges, and bringing a fresh perspective to old problems. This decision wasn't without risk, but it paid off in ways she couldn't have imagined. By bringing her whole self to the table, Kimberle was able to connect with colleagues and clients on a deeper level, fostering trust and collaboration that led to breakthrough results. It turns out, Kimberle says with a laugh, that being yourself is not just good for the soul, it's good for business too. Who knew authenticity could be such a competitive advantage? As I listened to Kimberle share these insights, I couldn't help but think about how many of us hold ourselves back out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not fitting in. But what if, like Kimberle, we chose to see these fears not as limitations, but as invitations to grow? Kimberle's journey teaches us that true success isn't about avoiding challenges or playing it safe. It's about embracing discomfort, learning from every experience, and constantly pushing ourselves to evolve. It's about understanding that our unique perspectives and experiences are not liabilities, but assets that can drive innovation and create meaningful change. But let's be real for a moment, Kimberle says, her tone becoming more serious. This approach isn't always easy. There will be times when you face rejection, when your ideas are questioned, when you feel like you're the only one who believes in your vision. I've faced these moments too, and let me tell you, they can be brutal. Kimberle pauses, letting the weight of her words sink in. Then, with a glimmer of determination in her eyes, she continues. But here's the secret. These moments of doubt, these dark nights of the soul, they're not signs that you're on the wrong path. They're the growing pains of transformation. They're the resistance you feel when you're pushing against the status quo, when you're daring to be different, when you're on the verge of something truly extraordinary. She goes on to share the strategies she's developed for pushing through these challenging moments. And one of the most powerful tools in Kimberle's arsenal is her support network. She emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, who challenge you to be your best self, and who are there to lift you up when you stumble. This network isn't just about emotional support, Kimberle explains. It's about creating a community of like-minded individuals who are all striving for excellence and impact. It's about having people in your corner who will tell you the truth, even when it's hard to hear, and who will remind you of your strength when you've forgotten it yourself. Kimberle also stresses the importance of continuous learning and adaptation. In today's rapidly changing world, the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is crucial. She encourages us to stay curious, to seek out new perspectives, and to be willing to evolve our thinking as we gain new information and experiences. Think of your mind like a parachute, Kimberle says with a grin. It works best when it's open. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you stop growing. And in this fast-paced world, if you're not growing, you're falling behind. But perhaps the most inspiring aspect of Kimberle's approach is her unwavering commitment to making a positive impact. For her, success isn't just about personal achievement. It's about using her skills, knowledge, and influence to create opportunities for others and to drive positive change in the world. This commitment to impact has led Kimberle to take on roles and projects that extend far beyond her comfort zone. She shared stories of times when she stepped up to lead initiatives that seemed daunting at first, but ultimately led to transformative outcomes for her organization and the communities they serve. One particularly powerful example was when Kimberle spearheaded a diversity and inclusion initiative in a company that had long struggled with these issues. Despite facing initial resistance and skepticism, she persevered, using data, empathy, and strategic communication to build buy-in and drive real change. It wasn't easy, Kimberle admits. There were days when I felt like I was pushing a boulder uphill, but I kept reminding myself why this mattered, not just for the company, but for every person who had ever felt marginalized or overlooked. Her persistence paid off. The initiative not only led to a more diverse and inclusive workplace, but also resulted in increased innovation, improved employee satisfaction, and better business outcomes. It turns out, Kimberle says with a smile, that doing the right thing is also the smart thing. Who would have thought? As our conversation draws to a close, I'm struck by the universal applicability of Kimberle's insights. Whether you're a seasoned executive, an aspiring entrepreneur, or someone just starting out in your career, her approach offers valuable lessons for navigating challenges, embracing authenticity, and making a meaningful impact. So, what does this mean for you? How can you apply Kimberle's wisdom to your own life and career? First, I challenge you to reframe how you view obstacles and setbacks. The next time you face a difficult situation, instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge help me grow? This simple shift in perspective can transform how you approach challenges and setbacks. Second, embrace your authenticity. What unique experiences, perspectives, and skills do you bring to the table? How can you leverage these to create value and drive innovation in your work and life? Remember, your differences are not weaknesses. They're superpowers waiting to be unleashed. Third, commit to continuous learning and growth. Set aside time each week to learn something new, whether it's reading a book, taking an online course, or seeking out mentorship. Remember, in today's rapidly changing world, your ability to learn and adapt is your greatest asset. Fourth, focus on impact. How can you use your skills, knowledge, and influence to create positive change in your organization, your community, or the world at large? Remember, true success isn't just about what you achieve for yourself. It's about the difference you make in the lives of others. Finally, build your support network. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who challenge you to be your best self, and who are there to support you through the ups and downs. And don't forget to be that person for others as well. As we wrap up this extraordinary conversation, Kimberle leaves us with the question that has the power to reshape how we approach our lives and careers. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Take a moment to really think about that. What dreams would you pursue? What risks would you take? What impact would you strive to make? Now, here's the thing. Failure is a part of any journey worth taking. But what this question really asks us to do is to imagine what's possible when we let go of our fears and fully commit to our goals and values. So I challenge you, no, I dare you to carry this question with you. Let it be the voice that whispers in your ear when you're on the brink of giving up. Let it be the fire that ignites your courage when you're faced with a daunting challenge. Let it be the compass that guides you towards your true north, even when the path seems uncertain. Because as Kimberle Smith Austin's journey shows us, When we embrace challenges, stay true to ourselves, and commit to making a positive impact, there's no limit to what we can achieve. The world doesn't just need more successful people. It needs more authentic, resilient, and purpose-driven leaders who are willing to weather the storms and emerge stronger on the other side. You have within you the power to be that leader. You have within you the ability to turn adversity into advantage, to transform challenges into opportunities, to use your unique voice to create positive change in the world. The question is, are you ready to embrace the storm? Are you ready to step into your power, to unleash your authenticity, to make the impact that only you can make? The world is waiting. The time is now. And your journey, your incredible, transformative, world-changing journey starts with a single step. So take that step. Embrace the challenges. Be unapologetically you and go out there and change the world. Because if not you, then who? If not now, then when? The storm is coming. Will you cower in fear or will you spread your wings and soar? The choice is yours. What will you do?